For the record, both assistant state attorneys are present, both defense counsel and Mr. Sievers. State's ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's not my business how people present their evidence and run their cases. As long as they're within the rules, I generally don't care. It's not my business if people want to beat a dead horse on each side, and I think both sides have made their point. But if you guys want to alienate the jury, that's between each of you. I think the defense made their point that there were that it was a redacted version or truncated version that was entered, and you said you're going to enter yours in during your case in chief, which is fine. But if you guys, I think you made your point with the first 10 and then the state yielded. State made their point with the 6,000 pages they mentioned. You want to go through this is fine. But I'll tell you what is my business, that we're going to finish this trial on time. And if that means we stay to midnight and I break my promise to the jury, I'm going to do it, because we're going to finish this trial on time. And if this is any indication of how every witness is going to be, pack your dinner, because we're going to start staying late.
And Your Honor,
Bring me the jury.
Yes, sir.
and Your Honor, just as the jury is coming to put on the record, the state is not intending to go through all of these pages, rather really to show.
I'll just stop you there. I'm just telling you where I'm at.
I know where you are, Your Honor.
And the bailiffs have told me they can give Mr. a ride home. They have a pool car. I will still accommodate him.
Jury entering.
Please be seated. I'll ask our jurors again, did you follow my instructions, not talk about the case among yourselves with anybody else or look up any of the people or places involved? Even if you did so inadvertently, now would be the time to raise your hand and let me know. For the record, no jurors lifted their hand. State.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Stout, we have.
Hold on. Yes, ma'am.
Question, during deliberation, are we able to ask to look at evidence in the deliberation room or not?
I'll give you instructions at the time of both sides having rested when we send you back for deliberations. Anything that's entered into evidence would be given to our jurors. Yes, ma'am.
We have put on the computer the thumb drive that has been introduced into evidence as State Exhibit number 25. This is the thumb drive that you indicated is the complete download of the Cellbrite download or extraction from Mark Sievers' phone.
Yes, it's the PDF version.
The PDF version. And there's an index on the left-hand side.
Yes, ma'am.
And we can see on the first page, let me just get to the very first page.
Hold on a second. Yes, sir.
Can we have the lights dim, please?
Yes, sir. We can drop the shades as well.
You.
Yes, sir.
And as we can see on that first page, the number in the bottom right-hand corner is 36824. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the index to which I referred a little bit before, that's on the left-hand side, can you just briefly tell us what's divided in that index, how that would work?
Those are each of the artifacts that, so for example, you see you have your contacts, your calendar. If you only wanted to specifically see your contacts, you would click on the contacts link.
If you only wanted specifically to see a call log, would you click on that link?
Correct.
And if you only wanted to see notes, would you click on that link?
That's correct.
In a timeline version, are they all combined?
Yes, it combines them all.
And this particular document, if we were to, let me see if I can put were to, type in a number, let's see, 6,392 pages in advance, we would get to the last page in this particular extract, in this particular extraction? Is that correct? Here, let me do it very quickly. So, and at the end of this particular thumb drive, in other words, the last page in the Cellbrite extraction that was done on Mark Sievers' phone, the last page we see 43215. Is that correct?
It's hard to see.
It's kind
Yeah.
of got smudging over it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But there were 6,392 pages in this extraction.
Yes, ma'am.
They're all contained on your thumb drive,
Yes, ma'am.
all listed and indexed. Thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Vince?
Murray Cross.
So you're subject to recall. We'll let you know when you're needed again. Thank you.
Okay.
Next witness. Thank you.
State calls Jennifer Kircikyan.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you please state your full name for the record?
Jennifer Kircikyan,
Where are you currently employed?
Lee County Sheriff's Office.
And in what capacity are you
Can
employed there?
you have her spell her last name for our court reporter?
My last name is Kircikyan, Kircikyan.
And in what capacity are you employed at the sheriff's office?
I work for the Digital Forensics Unit. I'm a digital forensics specialist
And what are your duties as a digital forensic specialist?
to analyze digital data.
And did you have to complete any specialized training in order to be able to analyze digital data?
Yes.
What kind of training? What kind of training did you complete?
I have a master's degree in digital forensics from the University of Central Florida, also a graduate level certificate in computer forensics from the University of Central Florida. I have 532 hours of specialized training in various aspects of digital forensics. I also have 4 certifications. The first 3 come from an organization called the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, which I've been a member of since 2012. The certifications are the Certified Forensic Computer Examiner, the Certified Advanced Windows Forensic Examiner, and the IASIS Certified Mobile Device Examiner. The word mobile device refers to cell phones. The 4th certification is from a company called Cellbrite, and it's called a Certified Cellbrite Mobile Examiner, and once again, mobile refers to cell phones.
Do you undergo ongoing training in the state-of-the-art of digital forensic analysis?
Yes, all of my certifications require a certain amount of training each year. The one certification that's required of my job is the Certified Forensic Computer Examiner, and it requires 40 hours every 3 years to be completed.
Okay, let me talk about Cellbrite a little bit. Now, can you explain to the jury exactly what Cellbrite is?
Cellbrite is software that I use very frequently to extract the contents of cell phones.
And is that software something that's static, or does it ever get updated?
It gets updated constantly.
And do you receive the updates when it gets updated?
Yes.
And did you receive any training specifically in how to use Cellbrite to download the contents of cell phones?
Yes, I'm certified from them.
And do you undergo, for example, when Cellbrite does an update, that seems to suggest that an update might add something or take something away from the program, right?
Yes.
Do you undergo either ongoing training or receive ongoing instruction from Cellbrite on what to do with the updates?
I can. There's always available training, but usually the updates it's just release notes and we can read what they've added to the program.
And how do you use Cellbrite to read the contents of a mobile device, specifically a cell phone?
It's very easy. The program's on my computer. I plug the device up to my computer with a USB cord and download the contents.
And when you download the contents of the cell phone, where do they go?
It goes onto our evidence server.
Is the data that's in the phone, does it stay in the phone, or does that come off the phone somehow?
No, it stays on the phone. I'm making a copy and putting it on our server, and then I work from the copy.
Why would you make a copy of what's in the cell phone and put it on your server and work from the copy?
It's something we always do with computers too. We never work from the actual evidence, always work from the copy. It safeguards the original evidence.
So you want to keep the contents of the cell phone intact?
Yes.
Okay, if I can ask Madam Clerk to assist me with State's Exhibit 68 and State's Exhibit 96A and B, please. Approximately how many times have you used Cellbrite to extract data from a cell phone?
Since 2012, when I started working in the unit, I've done over 1,200 examinations total. That's all devices, and well over half of that is cell phones. I'd say about 800 if I was going to guess.
So you're guessing that you've downloaded approximately 800 cell phones?
Yes.
And are all cell phones the same?
No.
How are they different?
There's so many variables in every cell phone. The things we look at when I start an examination is, first of all, the make and model, the operating system version that it's running, the condition of the phone, does it have a SIM card or an SD card inserted into it? All that factors into how I conduct my examination. Everyone's different. Every single phone is almost different.
What's a SIM card?
A SIM card is a subscriber identity module. It's how the network connects to the phone. So your AT&T or Verizon, whichever that is.
And what's an SD card?
An SD card is a memory card. It's available for extra memory on your phone. If you want it, you can insert it into your phone and have extra space.
So if you want to be able to store extra programs, extra music, whatever, you'd put an SD card into your phone?
Yes.
And is Cellbrite capable of reading what's on a SIM card or an SD card as well?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously identified as State's Exhibit number 68. Did you receive, first of all, the first question is, did you receive a phone from detectives conducting an investigation in Missouri?
Yes.
Did you receive several phones?
Yes.
And what did you and the forensics team do with reference to any phones or other devices that were received from Missouri?
To conduct an examination?
Okay. And did you work as a team with others in the forensics unit?
Yes, I did.
How many other folks are in the forensics unit?
There's 3 other people.
And what are their names?
Casey Stout, Matt DeShazo, Mike Lacombe. Mike Lacombe, Lacomb.
And did you by yourself conduct forensic examinations on items coming back from Missouri, or did other people do forensic exams on those items as well?
We all did something in this case. I did at least 20, 25 items just in this case alone, and they all did approximately the same, so yes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 68 and ask if you recognize it.
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's the Samsung Galaxy Note 2 that I examined from a search warrant in Missouri.
Okay. And when you did the examination, did you do it here or did you do it in Missouri?
I did it here.
And how did the phone get from Missouri to Lee County?
I couldn't tell you that. I picked it up from our evidence unit.
So it came through your evidence process?
Right.
And when you do a forensic exam on a cell phone, are you able to obtain the phone number that's assigned to the device?
Yes.
And what was the phone number assigned to the device?
I have that on my report. I don't have it memorized. Could I look at my report?
Would it help you to refresh your recollection if you looked at your report?
Yes.
Your Honor, may the witness refresh her recollection by looking at her report.
Yes, sir.
Once you locate the number, just let me know you've located it, and I can ask you again.
Okay.
Okay, what was the phone number assigned to State's Exhibit number 68?
It was area code 314-996-9581.
And did you conduct the Cellbrite download that you described earlier as you do with other devices?
Yes.
And were you able to obtain an image or a download from Exhibit number 68?
Yes.
And then did you take that download and put it on your forensic server for review?
Yes.
I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as State's Exhibit 96A and 96B Bravo. If you can review State's Exhibit number 96A and 96B and tell me if you recognize those.
Um, 96A is a copy of my extraction.
And so when you say a copy of your extraction, is that the extraction from the cell phone, exhibit number 68?
It is including my written report as well.
And were there also numbered pages of discovery placed on 96A as well?
As I recall, yes.
PDF version of it?
Right.
And did you have an opportunity to review the PDF version and compare it to the actual data from the download?
Yes.
And was the PDF version obtained from the download?
Yes.
Okay, and then now 96B, those printed pages you have with you. Were those pages that were part of the digital file contained within 96A, the PDF file contained within 96A?
Yes.
And those printed pages truly and accurately represent the pages that are within 96A?
Yes.
At this time, Your Honor, the state would admit State's Exhibit 68, 96A, and 96B.
Your Honor, can I ask a question?
Sure, you can voir dire.
Ma'am, you said that 96B is a printout of 96A, is that correct?
that 96B is within 96A.
And you testified that it is a true and accurate printout of some of the items contained in 96A, is that correct?
Yes.
How did you come to that determination?
I verified them. I went through them, looked at them one by one.
Okay, when did you do that?
Oh, it's been several months now, I believe.
Okay.
Actually, it was on October 10th.
So when you look down at 96B and said that it's a true and accurate copy of 96A, what were you looking at?
When I looked down at B and said it's an, do you mean the paper?
96B?
Yes. Yes.
96B.
I was looking at the paper, the item here.
Isn't this 96B?
Looks like it from here.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, did I give you the wrong? What do you have?
It says 96B.
Yes. Your Honor, may we approach? This is my mistake.
Just give our court reporter a minute.
All right, Ms. Kircikyan, I'm going to show you 96B, Bravo, and 96B, redacted, okay? At the bottom of 96B, are there some initials?
Yes,
And whose initials are those?
those are mine.
And when did you place them there?
October 15th,
And for what purpose were they placed there?
to verify that this was from the thumb drive.
Okay, and the one labeled 96B redacted, does that appear to be the same
Yeah.
record?
Yes.
Let me ask you to flip to what's in the little numbers, page 224 on both pages. Are there some markings on 224 or 96B redacted?
Yes.
Well, what are the markings there?
It's blacked out text. You can't read it.
Okay. So 96B redacted was redacted.
Yes.
96A was not redacted?
Right.
Overruled.
Your Honor, this time the state would admit 68, 96A, and 96B. We would make 96B redacted. We would ask the court to make it a part of the record for this proceeding.
We'll show them admitted. Your objection is noted for the record, overruled and preserved. Okay.
All right. Now, let me direct your attention, Ms. Kircikyan, to 96B, the one with your initials on it. And just to be clear, the 96B, as you told us earlier, is the portion of the download from the flash drive, 96A.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so there are some big numbers at the bottom of the page, at the bottom of the pages. Do you see those big numbers?
Yes.
All right. I'm going to direct you to, just a second here. The big number's at the bottom, page 58607.
Yes, yes,
And then the messages there are in a kind of chart format.
yes.
There's a row number marked row number 1336.
Yes.
Is that what is in row 1336?
It is a text message.
And what are the contents of the text message?
The message itself,
Yes.
it says K, comma, other, whenever you want, now.
And does the message seem to indicate who the message was received from?
Yes, it was received from 314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
And the name that's attached to the phone number, how does the name in the cell phone, how does the name get attached to the phone number?
It's in the instance of SMS and MMS text messages like these, it would be the contacts list on the phone. So whatever the user of the phone puts as the name would appear in this column.
Okay. So whatever name the person entered assigned to that number would be the name that appears under the number?
Yes.
Okay. Let me direct you to page 58698
Okay.
and row 1733.
Okay.
What's in row 1733?
It's another SMS text message.
And who is the message to?
The message was sent to 314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
Okay. And we heard earlier about UTC time. Can you tell the jury what UTC time is?
UTC time it's basically our time zones. UTC is the time standard. It starts from 0 and it goes out, in our case, to -4, -5. In the central time zone, it'd be -5, -6.
And so that message there at line 1733 on page 58698, when was that message sent to Mark Sievers?
And that was UTC -5.
And what was the time at UTC -5?
It was 5:49 p.m. UTC -5.
Okay, and so does that mean that I have to subtract 5 from 5:49 p.m. to get what the local time would be?
No.
Can you explain, was it actually 5:49 p.m. here in the United States when that message was sent?
It was 5:49.
Your Honor.
Overruled.
It was 5:49 p.m. UTC -5, which is Central Daylight Time or Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. So the UTC -5 just indicates that the phone's control, the time controlling the phone is UTC time, as opposed to Pacific time or Central time.
No, UTC is not a time zone. UTC is more, like I said, a standard. It's a way to assign a number to a time zone. So this is time zone -5. I guess you can call it that, which is either Eastern Standard Time or Central Daylight Time.
Okay. And so the UTC has nothing to do with the time zone that you're in.
Well,
UTC time.
UTC, no, it can indicate, -5 indicates one of the two time zones,
Right.
but it's not a time zone itself.
So what if, if it's UTC minus 0?
UTC 0 is, that's the base, that's UTC,
Okay, and that would be in Greenwich, the Greenwich Mean Time?
Greenwich Mean Time.
Okay, and so the minus 5 indicates how far away you get from Greenwich Mean Time, right?
That's correct. yes.
Okay, so the time controlling is the time in Greenwich Mean Time, and the location is determined by the minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, minus 4, minus 5, and so on.
That's correct.
All right, the further you get away from Greenwich Mean Time, the bigger the number gets.
Yes.
Okay. Now, shortly before that message on 5/17 at 5:49 UTC minus 5, there was another message, or as shortly afterwards, there was another message on line number 1734.
Yes.
And who's that message from?
The message is from the same number, 314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
And what was that message?
It says, hello, brother from another mother.
Does it say, hello, brother from another mother, or does it say something different?
It says, hello, brother from an, quote, other, end quote, mother.
Okay, let's go to page 58699, in big numbers.
Okay.
Line or row number 1764.
Okay.
What's the time, what's the date and time of, wait, I'm sorry, wrong line. 1765. What's the date and time of that message?
It's May 17th, 2015 at 9:56 p.m. UTC minus 5.
And who's that message from?
It's from 314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
And what's the message?
The message says K, comma, other whenever you want now.
Okay, let's skip ahead to page 58702.
Okay.
Line number 1894.
Okay.
What's the date and time UTC on that call?
It's May 22nd, 2015 at 7:50 p.m. UTC minus 5.
And who's that message from?
314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
And what was the message?
Do you think we can talk a little tonight? Just need 3 minutes. Setting static IP T home, quote, other, end quote, then changing.
Okay. And there's a message right after that on line 1895.
Yes.
Now, is that message sent from the phone or received to the phone?
It's sent to, it's sent from the phone.
And who is it sent to?
It's sent to the same number, 314-239-0173 Sievers mark.
And what's the message?
The message says, call me in 5 minutes.
Okay, let's skip ahead to page 58734.
Okay.
Row 3192.
Okay.
What's the date? Is that a message there?
Yes.
What's the date and time?
The date is June 24th, 2015 at 10:11 p.m. UTC minus 5.
And who is the message from?
It's from 314-239-0173 Sievers Mark.
And what's the message?
The message says, I will dispose of outdated computer tomorrow after erasing everything from its memory. I'm sorry. I will dispose of outdated computer tomorrow after erasing everything from its memory and then remove hard drive as well.
Okay, and let me skip you to page 58736.
Okay.
At the bottom of the page, at page 3278. At line 3278. What day is that?
Line 3278, what day?
Yeah, what day?
It's June 27th, 2015.
And then the final line on that page, 3293. What day is that?
June 28th, 2015.
Are there any messages sent from the phone between June 27th and June 28th during those times?
Yes, there's one.
Where is that?
The last line. It's a call log.
A call to Mike Frazier?
Yes.
And then immediately before that call to Mike Frazier, were there any calls that came to the phone?
Yes.
Who'd they come from?
There were several from the same contact.
So on the 27th, somebody named Mike Frazier called the phone several times?
Yes.
Are there any calls to or from Mark Sievers between the 3278 on June 27th and all the way to the bottom of the page on 628?
There's a call from. Yes, there's 2 calls from and a message from Mark Sievers.
Are there any calls to him or messages to him during that time period?
No.
And finally, just to clear up if I create any confusion about the UTC time, when you connect the Cellbrite to the phone, does the Cellbrite set the time in the phone, or does Cellbrite use the time in the phone when it downloads the report? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. It'll ask you what you want to do as soon as you plug it up and it sees a different time zone, or even if it sees the same time zone, it'll say, do you want to use the time zone I'm in, which is Eastern time? Do you want to use this time zone? I usually say yes. In this case, I would have said, no, I want Central time zone.
Okay. And so the messages that we were talking about were in the Central time zone time?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Defense.
May I have a moment?
Yes, sir.
We tender the witness.
Defense.
May I see the redacted copy, please?
Oh my gosh, which one is it? It's this one, right?
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ma'am, would you agree with me that 26B is not a strictly sequential copy of the download that you performed on this phone? Would you agree with that?
A sequential?
As in, this is an excerpt. There are holes in the time.
Oh, yeah, this is, yes, an export.
If we could address about. On 6/28, you said there were a couple calls on June 28th. Do you recall that?
Yes.
Okay. What were the line numbers of those again?
Of all the calls,
Yes.
it was 3291, 3292, 3293.
Okay. And, hold on. If I could direct your attention to page 58735, okay? Let me know when you get there.
Okay.
And specifically, if I can further direct your attention to row 3222. Do you see that?
Yes.
What day did that come in?
That is June 25th, 2015.
Okay. And was that sent from this phone, or was that sent to this phone?
It was from this phone.
Okay, so the owner of the phone was sending this message to another person, is that
Yes,
correct?
yes.
And who is the recipient?
It is 314-239-0173 Sievers Mark.
Okay, and what is the substance of the contact, or of the message?
The message says, "Give me a call when you get a minute. Thanks. I need to talk to you about VPN."
And given your training and experience, do you know what a VPN commonly stands for?
Yeah, it's virtual private network.
Okay. And again, if you know, does that allow people to access computers in a secure way over a distance?
Yes.
And if I refer to you as Ms. Lindblad, please, I apologize, I believe when we took your deposition.
It was different.
You had a different name, so I may be inadvertently calling you that.
No problem.
I want to go over some of the other things you did in this case. You actually processed multiple items of evidence, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And when you process evidence, do you number them? Do you label them?
They're all given a property number.
Okay. And I think you processed a Samsung cell phone, which I believe was in that bag. Is that correct?
Yes, this bag.
When you received that cell phone, was it in that condition?
No,
How did it get in that condition?
I took it apart.
Okay. Why did you take it apart?
I took it apart because I was trying to get a physical extraction from the phone.
Can I stop you there?
Yeah.
You said a physical extraction.
Mhm.
And is it my understanding that there's also something called a logical extraction?
Yes.
What's the difference between the two?
A logical extraction, there's 3 types of extractions you can get from a cell phone. The logical is your most basic. It's what you see on the phone. It's what you yourself could get off your phone by plugging it to your computer. And there's also a file system that's a little bit more in depth. It's a copy of all the files on the system. But then the physical is a copy of the entire disk. And that's ultimately what we always try to get, because with that you can get deleted information.
To get the physical extractions, you have to use Cellbrite.
Yes.
Okay. And so the Samsung that was in the bag, you did a physical extraction on that, correct?
No, I was not able to.
You were not able to?
No.
Did you end up sending that to Teal Tech?
Yes.
And was there someone named Maggie Gaffney in Bonita Springs who did the chip read off the chip?
Yes.
Okay. Also, you received a laptop in a bag, correct?
Yes.
You didn't generate a report on that laptop, correct?
I made reports on everything I did.
Okay. You received a Hewlett-Packard laptop, is that correct?
Probably. I don't have the list in front of me.
Do you recall if you processed the Hewlett-Packard laptop?
I think so, yes.
You received a Dell desktop, is that correct?
Do you want me to look at the list of the property
Sure.
that I got? Could I do that?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, you just said Dell desktop?
Yep, the Dell desktop, did you have that as your property receipt number 17381?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do to process the Dell desktop?
I imaged it.
Okay, when you say imaged it, what does that mean?
Image means making a copy of the hard drive.
Okay. You had 8 thumb drives and 3 SD cards that were labeled as 17396, correct?
That's right.
What did you do with those?
Imaged it, same thing.
Okay. I want to move on to a 640 gigabyte hard drive that was in evidence as 17396. You recall that?
Yes.
Okay. First is 640 gigabytes, pretty big storage space.
That's about average these days.
Is it really? Okay. What'd you do with that?
Imaged it.
You imaged it? You also received in 18175, you just called it trash. Can you be a little more descriptive? What was that?
What they did in the Missouri search warrant is they collected a box that a phone would come, that when you buy a phone, it comes in a box that's got the picture on it. They collected that and labeled it as a phone when really there was nothing in it. So I labeled it trash.
Okay. Want to go on to your property receipt 81877, a Dell tower from Missouri.
Yes.
Is that Dell tower the same Dell tower as the Dell desktop that was labeled 17381?
No.
Okay. So this Dell tower, what did you do with that?
I imaged it.
Okay. Also, you had something 81881. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What was that?
That was a Sprint phone.
What did you do with the Sprint phone?
I did not do anything. I looked through it. I didn't have any, Cellbrite or anything I did didn't support downloading this particular phone, so I manually looked through it. And the dates, I believe it was the dates. No, the name on it didn't sound like anything relevant, so the detectives decided not to even go further.
Okay. And you processed a Toshiba laptop as 18198, correct?
Yes.
Okay. What did you do to process that?
I previewed it. Previewing is instead of imaging it, because imaging can take a long time, a lot of resources, we just look at it, just like I did with the phone. We look at it and see, has it been used in a while? Does it look like it's relevant? And the information we got, the detectives determined it wasn't relevant.
And ma'am, all of those items came from Missouri, correct?
That one, yes.
All the
Yes.
items we've talked about thus far?
Yes.
And the last thing I believe you processed was an iPhone 4S in Mr. Sievers' possession. Is that correct?
That's right.
And I have a note here, you used brute force. Is that correct?
Yes.
What does it mean to use brute force?
It means when you can't bypass the password. In this particular case, we couldn't get past it, so we used a technique of literally guessing every single password until you get the right one, and it worked.
Were you able to recover anything off that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And when you recovered data from that, Did you disclose that to evidence?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it fair to say that when you do a physical download, you said you can recover some deleted data, is that correct?
Yes,
But when something overwrites that deleted data, it's gone forever, correct?
right.
So it's really impossible then to determine what has been deleted and written over once it's written over, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay, thank you, man, I have nothing further. Madam Clerk?
State.
Ms. Kircikyan, the download you did on the iPhone 4S for Mark Sievers, when did you do that?
I don't know if I even have that information right here. I did a report, it would say it on that.
Objection, Your Honor?
Sustained.
Do you remember right now the date that you did the download of Mark Sievers' phone?
Yes. Do I remember the date or
The
the date?
date,
I
yes.
don't remember the date.
Would it help you remember the date if you were able to refresh your recollection?
Yes.
And do you have your report with you to
Yes.
refresh your recollection?
I don't, not that report.
Okay. I'm going to show you from your, actually, deposition exhibit number 1. And I'll direct you to 16E 5757, which is in the middle of the page.
Okay.
Okay, does that refresh your recollection of when the iPhone 4S was downloaded?
No.
Does the item number 16P?
It's 2016, I could tell you that.
Okay, so the item number 16P is a clue as to when
That is a
the
clue, yes.
phone was downloaded?
Yes.
And why is the item number 16P57, whatever the number was I read off, why is that, how does that tell you what year that the phone was downloaded?
The first 2 digits are the year, so 16.
Okay. So you downloaded that phone sometime in 2016?
Yes.
All right. Not in July of 2015?
No.
All right. Thank you. I'll get that exhibit back from you. No further questions, Ron?
No recross.
Is this witness to be retained?
She's free to go from the state, Ron.
I'd like for her to be retained because I'd like to complete the record.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, you're subject to recall. We'll let you know when you're needed again. Thank you. That it's almost noon. We'll go ahead and break for lunch. I'll ask that you not talk about the case with anybody else. Don't look up any of the people or places involved. We'll see you at 1:15.
Need no cash, please call me.
Please be seated. Anything from the state till 1:15?
Nothing from the state,
From the defense?
Nothing from the bench, Your Honor.
How many witnesses you have lined up?
We have one more witness lined up.
They're gonna take the whole afternoon?
We anticipate so, yes, Your Honor.
Might wanna get another one just in case.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, see everybody at 1:15.